The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Hello, everyone. I don't say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening because it could be any time during the month that you're watching this because of the good people at the Town of Colonie. We are broadcast throughout the month at different times of the day. My name's Tom Scarff. This is Young at Heart, which is kind of a reincarnation of a program that I was lucky enough to produce and host on Channel 6 many years ago, back in the 1970s. It's a show for and about senior citizens, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to you about some of the programs and services that seniors have. At some point, we're going to be asking you whether or not you like the label senior citizen or not, because there's a lot of talk now about whether or not that's the proper word for us, because I am one of us, as is our guest today. And I am very happy to introduce to you today's guest is the Executive Director of the Albany County Nursing Home, Larry Slatky. Larry has been with the county now for a brief period of time and has already made tremendous amount of inroads and a positive movement on the nursing home, which we'll talk about some of the problems that he faced when he got here. But first of all, Larry, I'd like to ask you about why, in today's world, when we talk about alternatives to nursing home, aging in your home, not leaving, and that seems to be the way that governments are going, is to try to keep people in their homes as long as possible so that they don't have to go to a nursing home. Why do we need nursing homes?
Well, I believe the main reason is that there is certain care that you receive at a nursing home that is cost-effective, concentrated, and much more easily delivered in a nursing home than it would be in your residence, whether it be through home care or other alternative ways that we provide services in the home. Having therapy, OT, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, all under one roof, along with nursing care, physician care, podiatry, dentistry, all under one roof, is financially a sound system in providing services to those that need skilled care.
Now, you even have an optician that comes in.
We do have an optician that comes in as well.
Do you know that optician, Henry Bourbon,
Yes.
was had his practice on Maiden Lane in Albany for many years, and he was the first person I think when I was in third grade went to for my eyeglasses, and he's still going strong.
He's a unique individual. Doesn't miss a day. There every single day, snowstorms, blizzards, hail, he's there.
And he remembers people.
He remembers everyone.
He
provides a vital service to us. Residents love him, staff love him. He's really a nice person.
Now, when you first came to Albany and looked at the possibility of the nursing home taking over, and when the county legislature and the county executive were in I would like to say a minor tussle, but it was far from a minor tussle, over the future of the nursing home. And you know what the funny thing is? That I think they all wanted the same thing. Mm-hmm. They wanted to improve the quality of the nursing home, and they wanted to make things better for the residents that are there. How did you find the state of the nursing home when you first got here?
Well, when I first got there were a lot of problems operationally, which we still have today that we're trying to fix, but clearly structurally in the environment that wasn't really upgraded on a day-to-day basis, year-to-year basis, like it should have for the residents who were living there. And then the major problem, which everyone was concerned about, was the finances of the nursing home. How do you bridge the gap between expense and revenue so that it's not a burden on the taxpayer?
How did you do that? I mean, I know it's an ongoing...
Well, we're still working on it. One of the major ways is efficiencies and working with labor and making sure that we're all on the same page with a common goal of running a quality nursing home with positive outcomes in a manner that's affordable for the seniors or the taxpayers of Albany. So the first thing we worked on was to review the collective bargaining agreements. That was with 1199 SEIU and NYSUP, New York State United Teachers. And they were extremely cooperative. And the staff had to be also, because there was a lot of compromises that had to be made. So the first thing we worked on was the collective bargaining agreement and entering into an agreement that was livable for both parties. And that's what we did. There were give-backs that everyone agreed to, that we're still trying to facilitate at the nursing home. But that being said, that was the first step, having a collective bargaining agreement that you could live with. When you're a government entity, there are two benefits that staff receive, and that is pension and health benefits. Those are really not negotiated by unions because they're mandated by being a government worker. So you have these two major expenses that are non-negotiable. When unions are usually working on collective bargaining agreements, health and pension are negotiated, up or down, but they're negotiated. Here, they're mandates. So you have a dollar amount that you know you're going to pay going in. So the only items that could be negotiated are hourly salaries, sick time, vacation time, holiday time, as an example. So you're already starting with a major financial burden when health and pension are mandated in a collective bargaining agreement. And that was one of the problems that the nursing home had. And the staff had to understand that, which they did, and give back on the other side. Understanding that you're not going to have a layoff, which we didn't have. You're going to maintain pension. And one thing that we were able to do is allow them to maintain health and at no additional cost to the staff member. We pay 90%, the staff member pays 10% of health, and that was also maintained. So that's a good thing for a staff member who's been there for 20 years, 25 years.
Now that's something that you wouldn't get in a freestanding nursing home, in a private.
Well, you could get pension and health, but clearly not the way our staff receive it, meaning the dollar amount and the cost to the county or any entity, but the cost to the county.
And our staff members are part of the New York State retirement system.
Correct.
Okay, so that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, well, again, we were able to do all of this with no layoffs, maintaining pension and health the way they were. And that took a cooperative effort. I mean, NYSUP and 1199 SEIU were extremely understanding in the position of the nursing home. And that, I think, was step one. So once the collective bargaining agreement was in place, everything else is around efficiencies. We created new scheduling patterns that were efficient. We eliminated the use of agencies, which cost the county over $1 million a year. We created new systems where staff could get overtime versus using agencies. We changed the work week from 37.5 hours to a 35-hour work week, which also saved dollars. All of these created efficiencies that allowed us to bridge the gap of revenue to expense.
How close was Albany County to closing that nursing home, would you say?
Oh, they were very close.
They were.
I think that most people never believed it because it was talked about for a decade.
Yes.
But the home was still open.
Right.
So they didn't believe it that it was going to happen. But when I got there, and after talking with the county executive, Dan McCoy, and the legislators, it was very clear to me that if we were not able to negotiate a deal with the unions and create these efficiencies, that this nursing home would be closed or sold. And I think when that reality was realized by the staff and everyone involved, that's when the true cooperation started.
Well, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that the previous administration had said that they wanted to close the nursing home in favor of increasing home services so that people could stay in their homes. But it seems like that's increasing anyway. that there's more and more money coming down from the federal government to the state government and then down into the county and also through the county itself to increase services for people to stay in their homes. Do you see that as a big thing now?
Well, I think it's been like that for a long time. The belief is, and the consensus from many different groups, that if you could provide care in the home, that most people would prefer to be in their residence than to be in a nursing home. And I think clearly everyone would. But
right.
There are those who need nursing home care and cannot receive the services at home that we provide. And they also do not need to be in a hospital or a medical center. They're also maybe not able to live in an assisted living facility or an ALP. So the nursing homes really truly serve a purpose to every community.
Now, what do people see differently today if they were to walk in the nursing home than they would have, let's say, 2 years ago?
Albany County Nursing Home.
Yes, Albany County Nursing Home.
Well, hopefully our environment is much improved. The nursing home had some roof issues, which we had to deal with. The building environment was not as clean as it really should have been and could have been. One of the things that we did, again, creating efficiencies, we used to run our own laundry service. So it wasn't outsourced. So we did resident clothing and linens by our staff in another facility across the street, but by our staff, which is really inefficient. I mean, we're not in the laundry business, you know, we're in the nursing home business. So we ended up closing the laundry, outsourcing it, actually saving probably around $300,000–400,000 a year by doing that. And the 6 or 7 full-time equivalents that worked at the laundry service were now brought over to the nursing home and added to the environmental services division of the nursing home, providing the amount of staff needed to actually keep it clean and neat the way it should have been.
So there are some of the things you don't think about when you think about a nursing home are those environmental services that need to be provided. You know, a lot of people walk into nursing homes and they talk about, oh my God, it's so depressing.
Right.
Is your mission is to take that away and make it more like a home than an institution? Oh,
clearly. It took a while. I mean, we've been working on it because there's so many alternatives when you're renovating a nursing home. And everyone has their own idea of what they believe to be in the best interest of the community who lives there, which is our nursing home resident. Finally, after probably around a year of going back and forth in what would be the best interest to our environment, we finally resolved all those issues a few months ago. And it wasn't argumentative in any way. It was just everyone so concerned about doing the right thing for the Albany County resident.
Right.
And there's a lot of alternatives, even within the nursing home itself, of how do you do a room, the size of the room, using all of the facility space in the appropriate way to benefit the resident and the staff. So we finally, a few months ago, concluded all of those meetings, retained the services of an architect, engineer, put together plans, and we're really there right now. All those things are in place. We're doing right now what's called the request for legislative approvals, RFPs and all the above that we have to do for proper procurement. And hopefully by the end of this year, we will start all of the renovations at the nursing home, which will make all the rooms conforming to today's regulations. We plan on building a new structure, connecting it to the existing facility so that there's appropriate space for all the residents in their common areas like dining and activities. And this nursing home, hopefully in a year and a half from now, 2 years from now, is going to be special.
That's very exciting. At one point, in its heyday, the census was a 500-bed nursing home, and then the Moreland Commission came in and knocked it down.
No, it was. I think the nursing home total capacity was around 400 beds.
400, okay.
And it was actually the Berger Commission.
Yeah, I said Moreland Commission. I meant the Berger Commission.
Yeah, the Berger Commission came in, and they were retained to basically downsize or right-size long-term care and medical centers. and determine which ones should stay open and which ones should close, or which ones should work with each other and provide a common service to the community versus having facilities half full, close one and have one that's full. And that's when Aunt Lee closed. That was part of the Berger Commission report that closed Aunt Lee, moved those residents over to Albany County Nursing Home. And then over time, we were downsized, which we are today, to 250 beds.
Okay. Are there any hopes to go back up in number of beds that you'll be?
I don't believe so.
Open?
I mean, right now, the nursing home is 250 beds. I'm pretty sure that New York State Department of Health are not wanting to increase bed capacity unless it's required.
Right.
And right now, I don't believe it's required in our area today. It may change in the future, but there is what's called a certificate of need process. And if need be, we would submit that, and the health department would evaluate it and determine whether there is a need for additional beds. Clearly, we have the space right now if we wanted to expand. But right now, we just want to deal with what we have, make it efficient, provide quality of care, positive outcomes to our residents, which we're working on.
Are we able to provide every level of care at this point? Because I know that there's different reimbursements for different levels of need of the patient. Can we take the neediest of the needs as far as the medical problems that people have, or are we not able to do that at this point?
Oh, we definitely can.
Okay.
We admit according to the staff qualifications and what they're capable and have the knowledge to provide, experience to provide. The only two type of nursing home residents that we do not care for are those that are on ventilator and what's called TBI, traumatic brain injury residents, which is part of New York State Department of Health regulations, where nursing homes, if they qualify to take those two diagnoses, can admit. We don't have those special approvals to admit those residents, but all other long-term care residents we admit. I mean, we provide a vital service to our community. Many nursing homes will have admission criteria. Not all nursing homes have admission criteria, but we clearly take those residents that are considered hard to place.
Okay, as far as their medical condition, or just
well, not only sometimes medical condition, but clearly behavioral conditions. We have our admission criteria for that as well, because there's certain residents with behavior problems that we can appropriately care for, and we would not admit them. But we do admit residents that other nursing homes may turn down.
It almost seems like there's an epidemic of dementia in this country today that you're hearing. I don't know if it's because people are living longer, but you hear an awful lot about people that are that reach a certain age that are starting to lose some of their facilities, their faculties. And I'm wondering if you see that, is that a reason why we need nursing homes also? Because when somebody is in the throes of Alzheimer's or dementia, it's very difficult for the caregivers to even leave the house for a short period of time with the family member or the loved one. Do we have specific units designed for that population?
Well, we do have, of course, dementia residents, and we have a secure unit that for those that wander, residents that wander, to make sure that they're properly cared for and prevents elopement from the nursing home. Not being a physician, I'm not sure about the dementia diagnosis and if they're increased, decreased. I believe that it's always been around.
Right.
It may be more prevalent today than in the past because, as you said, I think people are living longer. So other diagnoses do come about that may not have happened in the past as far as the numbers are concerned. But again, those are the type of residents that we care for at Albany County Nursing Home.
What about those people who are they're frail? The family member wants to keep them home, but they have to work during the day. Are there programs that those people can go to, as far as like a daycare program or anything else? I don't believe you have it yet at the nursing home, but I'm not positive you don't have it.
No, we do not have daycare.
Okay.
It's called adult daycare at our nursing home. That's specialized programs and license to perform that service to the community residents. That's where they would be picked up in the morning.
Right.
They provide services all day and then taken home in the evening. And even those programs have admission criteria depending upon the diagnosis of a resident and how much care they actually need. So we're really providing skilled nursing facility care, and that is right now where we view our importance to the community.
So Larry, you moved up here from Long Island.
Right.
And you were a lifetime resident of Long Island? You stayed down there?
No. I moved to Long Island, I think, somewhere around 1986.
Okay.
And I grew up in the Bronx, New York, DeWitt Clinton High School, my big high school, all boys. Tough school. And from the Bronx, most people migrate, like me, into Westchester County, which I lived in for a few years. There was a point in time where I was appointed as an administrator in a facility in New Jersey. So I spent some time in Jersey, and then eventually moved into Long Island.
Now, I was reading about some of your profile on one of the websites.
Right.
It says something about putting together soap dispensers and.
Well, that was like my first job. I mean, that's how I kind of got into the business. So I went from soap dispenser to executive director. But it took 40 years to get there.
You were the youngest executive director at one point.
Well, what happened is I was around 17 years old, and our little group in our neighborhood that we grew up in, there was one of the people, one of my friends' father owned a nursing home. And during the summer, he was opening up a brand new facility, and he asked us if we wanted to work there during the summer. And we all said yes. You know, we grew up really in a kind of tough, poor neighborhood in the Bronx. And to have that opportunity, you know, to earn some money during the summer was important to all of us. So we started working in this nursing home, 1968 actually. And after the summer, all of us went back to school, and I went to the owners, a gentleman named Al, who passed away a number of years ago. And I said, can I stay after school? Can I come by after school and still work? Because I really need some revenue here. Well, I didn't call it revenue back then. I don't know what it was called, but today it's revenue. And he allowed me to work there. And eventually the home opened, and I did do put in all the soap dispensers, made the beds. Eventually became a night watchman, maintenance man, did the dishes, dishwasher. And then there was an opening in bookkeeping. So he liked me, but I was still underage. You had to be 21 to sit for the exam for nursing home, to get your nursing home administrator's license. So he allowed me to do the books. So I did receivables, payables, eventually payroll. And in 1971, I sat for my exam, passed it, and he made me an assistant administrator. And he had a few nursing homes, so I worked 2 days in each nursing home as assistant administrator. And then he actually had an argument with his brother in one of the nursing homes. He left, and he said, go run it. And I go, Al, I just got my license. I have it like 3 days. He goes, simple, just go and tell people what to do. So I've been telling people what to do now for a while.
But you actually probably haven't asked many people to do something that you haven't already done yourself in some way or form, you know? Yeah,
I've done everything in a nursing home other than the clinician stuff, you know, because I'm not a clinician like therapy or nursing and so on. It's probably a good thing, you know, but yeah, I've held every position from bookkeeper to dishwasher to administrator.
Now, you've also served as, is it president of the National Administrators Association, or what is the organization?
Well, the organization, which I'm still very much involved in, is the American College of Healthcare Administrators.
Okay.
I'm a member of the New York chapter, but I held the position of president of New York. I've been national chair of the college for all professional administrators who belong to our organization. I've been national foundation chair, fundraising arm of the college, and currently am the coordinator for our summer leadership conference, which I just got back from. And I've been chair of the convention, which we run every year at the Villa Roma in the Catskills. Now it's there. We had it in other places, but it's always been in the Catskill region. I think I've been the chairperson of that, I think around 40 years now, 42 years I've been the chairperson.
And what would be the benefit of you being involved in that? Is it networking and the contacts that you make with people?
It's really giving back. I mean, mentoring, working with young administrators. I must have trained at least a half a dozen plus AITs, administrator in training, who now are administrators in long-term care, got their license. There's specific regulations for those that are going to sit for the exam, and it's called AIT, Administrator in Training Programs, where there are modules, and you educate, teach, mentor administrators or prospective administrators before they sit for their licensure exam. So participating with the college, it's not-for-profit organization. It's all my volunteer work. All of us who participate, it's volunteering. And it's giving back to the industry, to the profession, which I think is very, very important, which I've done for a while now.
Now tell me about the nickname Game Day.
Game
Because I
Day,
see the big ring on your finger.
Yeah, well, this is the '86 Super Bowl ring.
From the New York Giants.
From the New York Giants. I worked there from around 74 to 88, 1988. I did the work with the game film crew. At that time it was called film because we didn't have video back then. We actually had to develop the film after the game. But my job, my specific job, was I took Polaroids of every play, offense, defense, punts, punt returns, kickoffs, and you'd have to develop them. You know, it's a Polaroid, so you had to wait and develop them. I had to categorize them, document them, and then give them to the coaches in the booth. I was up on the press facilities level, and then they would look at them, and then from there determine, because all they would be able to see is the formation, and then from there determine, you know, what play should be called, what defense, offensives to be in. And then they would take it down to the field. We had a runner that took them down to the field so the coaches on the field could look at the pictures. And back then when I started, there was only probably half a dozen teams, if that took the Polaroids. Then, of course, time passes and become more sophisticated, and we went into video. So we did, our game films were video now. We didn't have to develop the film anymore. And they went to what actually they use today. If you see them on the field, looking at all the iPads and going through, that's what I did. But when I did it, it was a still. Wow. So it was unique. It was a great job. I had a lot of good years. You know, I worked with Bill Parcells, who was a very nice person who, as you know, is up in this area on occasion.
Saratoga, right?
Yeah, in Saratoga. I had great experiences. The Mara family couldn't be nicer people. I mean, one of the real true benefits that I've had in my life is being associated with the Mara family. They're just amazing, amazing people, especially Wellington and his children. So those were really, really good years. And also Bill Belichick, which most people know, has a few Super Bowl rings. He's really the person for most of the years that I was with the Giants that I really worked with. Because he's the one that I gave my pictures to after I took them. So he was a really good guy as well.
Well, we're very lucky to have you, kind of a man for all seasons.
Right. Yeah.
Not just in the field of nursing, but also in the football field.
Right.
And you're you know, we're very lucky. I know that the county executive, in cooperation with the Albany County Legislature, has always had passion for the nursing home and for the residents that go there, and that, you know, what you're doing right now to bring the reputation of the nursing home back to the first class, so that people will be proud to go there, and people are. And I hear people constantly saying how much the services have improved and how the facilities improved. You know, so I want to thank you for being with us. Friends, thank you for listening, and thank you for watching Young at Heart. You will see our email address on your screen. If you have any questions, any comments, make sure that you email us at youngatheart and at albanycounty.com or .gov, I believe it is. And we will be with you next month For another edition of Young at Heart, I want to thank Larry Slatky and the people here in the town of Colonie for giving us this opportunity to bring you some information about the Albany County Nursing Home.